Ever since we've lived in houses, there have been burglars. No matter if the house is in a lower income neighborhood or a higher income neighborhood, there are certain people that if they think that you have valuables, they're going to try to take what is yours, what you've earned. And historically, thieves and burglars have sought, you know, appliances, electronics, cash, cracking safes, any and everything of value. But now they've expanded into crypto and committing home invasions to try to steal people's crypto. So much so that people that have refused them have even lost their lives. Now, in this episode, we're going to be taking a look at a crypto theft mastermind, is what he's called, who's been convicted here in the United States for home invasions. All right. Now, before we do so, make sure that you hit the like button, comment, share your thoughts, share this video with someone that you care about that has even a little bit of crypto. I mean, we've got a lot going on, but we'll talk about that more later. Now, this article is brought to you by Bitcoin.com News. It was published Wednesday, and it is involving the crypto theft mastermind. All right, now it's going to get deeper. This is just the intro, okay? That's what we're doing right here. A Florida man has been convicted in the U.S. for orchestrating an international scheme that involved violent home invasions aimed at stealing cryptocurrency. The operation targeted victims throughout the country who were kidnapped and assaulted to gain access to their crypto accounts. The defendant is facing a minimum sentence of 7 years and a maximum of life in prison. The U.S. Department of Justice on Tuesday, which was June the 25th, announced that a federal jury in Greensboro, North Carolina, had convicted a Florida man for his lead role in an international conspiracy to break into United States citizens' homes, violently kidnap, assault them, and steal their Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency. Wow. The Justice Department explained that Remy St. Felix of West Palm Beach was the leader of a robbery crew targeting crypto owners through violent home invasions between September of 2022 and July of 2023. St. Felix planned and orchestrated robberies in Durham, North Carolina, Florida, Texas, and New York, where victims were kidnapped. In one incident in April of last year, St. Felix and a co-conspirator forced their way into a victim's home. There, both of them assaulted, zip-tied, and held the victim at gunpoint, then threatened more violence against the victim and the victim's spouse, while other co-conspirators transferred more than $150,000 in cryptocurrency from their account. Evidence that was presented at the trial showed that they gained unauthorized access to their email accounts and conducted physical surveillance before the home invasions. They then laundered the stolen funds through enhanced cryptocurrencies like Monero, which we've covered on the channel, okay, like 2 years ago. Now I'm going to share with you a news clip. Fair use.
Reveals startling new details about a Durham couple held hostage in their own home. This happened on Wells Street back in April. At the time, police said 2 men dressed as construction workers entered the home, pulled out guns, and restrained the 76-year-olds with zip ties. Anna Rivera joins us live now with new information. Anna?
Well, John, these new details just coming out really paint a terrifying picture of what exactly happened on that day in April. So let's break down everything we know from these new court documents that were just released. On April 12th, an elderly couple answered the door of their Wells Street home when 2 men dressed as construction workers told them they needed to check the pipes in their home. Instead, the men, identified in the criminal complaints as Remy Ross St. Felix and Elmer Castro, zip-tied the two 76-year-olds and held them at gunpoint. night with this gun. The court documents say the men threatened to cut off the husband's toes and genitalia, to shoot him, and to rape his wife before forcing them to transfer more than $150,000 worth of cryptocurrency to an unknown account. After they were tied up, the documents say the wife was dragged by her legs into a bathroom, the husband forced to log on to his Coinbase cryptocurrency account, and over the next 45 minutes transferred $156,853 into 3 transactions. A 4th transaction was flagged by Coinbase. Now, the court documents say that a 3rd man was also involved in this, but involved by finding the victims. Both Castro and St. Felix drove from Florida and spent 3 days watching the couple before committing this alleged crime. Now, this is a story we're going to stay on
I'm going
top
to share
of and
one more
continue to
article
bring
with
you
you,
details as they become available.
and it
Back to you
goes
guys.
far deeper. Okay, this is from Wired, and it was published a few hours ago, actually, June 28th. You can see here, and it says, inside a violent gang's ruthless crypto-stealing home invasion spree, more than a dozen men threatened, assaulted, tortured, or kidnapped 11 victims, and likely the worst ever crypto-focused serial extortion case of its kind in the United States. Now, crypto has always made a ripe target for theft, and not just hacking, but the old-fashioned up-close and personal kind too. Given that it can be irreversibly transferred in seconds with little more than a password, it's perhaps no surprise that thieves have occasionally sought to steal crypto in home invasion burglaries and even kidnappings. But rarely do these thieves leave a trail of violence in their wake as disturbing as that of one recent, ruthless, and particularly prolific gang of crypto extortionists. The U.S. Department of Justice earlier this week announced the conviction of Remy Ross St. Felix of Florida. He's only 24. He led a group of men behind a violent crime spree designed to compel victims to hand over access to their savings. Now, the complaint lays out charges against him on a single theft of crypto from an elderly couple in North Carolina, whose home he and one of his accomplices broke into and stole over $150,000 in Bitcoin and Ethereum from their wallets. Wow. In fact, the 6-figure sum appears to have been the gang's only confirmed haul from its physical crypto thefts, although the burglars and their associates made millions in total, mostly through more traditional hacking, crypto hacking, as well as stealing other assets. A deeper look into court documents from the case, however, reveals that the relatively small profit the gang made from its burglaries doesn't capture the full scope of the harm they inflicted. In total, those court filings and DOJ officials describe how more than a dozen convicted members broke into homes of 11 people, and this spanned 4 states total. In court documents, prosecutors say the men working in pairs or small teams threatened to cut toes or genitalia off of one victim, kidnap and discuss killing another, and plan to threaten another victim's child as leverage. Prosecutors also described disturbing torture tactics, how the men inserted sharp objects under one victim's fingernails and burned another with a hot iron, all in an effort to coerce their targets to hand over the devices and passwords necessary to steal their crypto holdings. The victims in this case suffered a horrible, painful experience that no citizen should have to endure, said Sandra Hairston, U.S. Attorney, who prosecuted the case. The defendant and his co-conspirators acted purely out of greed and callously terrorized those they targeted. The serial extortion spree is almost certainly the worst of its kind ever to be prosecuted in the United States, said James Locke, the co-founder and chief security officer of Casca. And that's a security firm. Let's go down further. Locke nonetheless that this kind of crime spree is more than a one-off. He has learned of other similar attempts of physical theft of crypto in just the past month that have escaped public reporting. He says the victims in those cases asked him not to share details and suggest that in-person crypto extortion may be on the rise, as thieves realize the attraction of crypto as a highly valuable and instantly transportable target for theft. Crypto as this highly liquid bearer asset completely changes the incentives of doing something like a home invasion, Lop says, or even kidnapping and extortion and rape. Right down here, you can see here 3 failed brutal extortions, despite the potential of stealing crypto through that kind of physical coercion. The gang had remarkably little success extorting significant sums from victims, but it wasn't for lack of trying. One document written by prosecutors outlines the basis for a plea agreement for one of the gang's lookout drivers, describes how they began to form in 2021 and went on to carry out a series of robberies. Now, this is Mr. St. Felix right here. This is a picture a few years old. I searched the entire internet to find new ones, but they're not out yet. As soon as they come out, I will be sharing them with all of you. It's not just him, it's the entire gang. And looking further, I found that he was convicted back in 2018 of some pretty bad charges, but he was since released. And look at what we have here. All right, we'll be making updates as far as sentencing whenever that's made available, and anything else that comes out of this case. I will be bringing all updates to you. Now, the fact of the matter is, none of these people deserved to have everything that they own stolen from them. None of them. But the fact of the matter is that all of them, as well as the vast majority of all of you, keep everything that you own on whatever exchange you bought it on. And that is absolutely the worst thing that you could ever do, because as long as it's on an exchange, it's not truly in your possession. Okay. The only way to truly control what you own is to have your own cold wallet. It's the only way. Otherwise, you can be a victim as well. Understand, new victims are made every single day. In the next few hours, there'll be more victims. Tomorrow, there'll be even more. It's never going to stop. But you can protect yourself by getting what you need. Okay. The way it works, you take your crypto off of whatever exchange you have it on, you put it on your wallet, and that way no one in the world except for you has access to it. It is the only way to truly have peace of mind when it comes to your money. And it is why we are partnered with the worldwide leaders in crypto security. Go to the site, look around, pick your own wallet. They all do the exact same thing, which is protect what you have. The only difference is they all have different features, okay? But go on here, look around, and get yourself one. You're going to thank me instantly. And while you're at it, be sure to grab our brand new guide for beginners. It's been out for a couple of weeks and it's been doing really well. I've been getting some great feedback from many of you, and I'd like to get more. So please send me an email. Let me know how the information has been beneficial to you, what you've learned, and how you've been able to apply it. Okay, I would really appreciate that. Now, you'll see here in the guide everything that you're going to learn about. Also, right here, what's included. It is a PDF file. Lifetime updates are included. So every time I make updates to it, you're going to have those as well, no matter when you bought it, even if it's 6 months from now. And lastly, it is an instant digital download. So you buy it right now, you'll be able to get your hands on it and start using it right now. All right. Now, if you've learned anything in the last several minutes from listening to me and watching this video, anything at all of value, show your appreciation as well as your support by contributing back to the channel in the way that has the most impact. That, of course, is financially. Now, you can do so with any stable coin or any coin built on Ethereum, Polygon, Linea, anything that's on MetaMask. You can send it to our address in the description. What this does, it helps us to continue creating life-changing, and in this instance, life-saving content for all of you. Until next time, get in there and make it happen.